everybody, and welcome back to the Macrocast, your source for news and entertainment with the Minds Behind Macro Records. We are your hosts. I'm Mattson.
I'm Downlow'd. Welcome back.
Welcome to another week of great topics, fun times,
and delicious food.
What? Where's the delicious food?
Delicious food talk.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm talking about delicious food talk. Sushi cakes.
Begin.
I love sushi. Sushi cakes. You ever had a cake burger?
What?
Cake burger.
Is that like when those people make a cake out of like mashed potatoes, hamburger meat, and like peas and carrots? And
That sounds... I've never heard of that before. But
it looks disgusting.
that just made me think of how we watched those Backyard Barbecue Pit Boys or whatever, and he's like, I'll just nestle this burger in a bowl of mashed potatoes.
You know what's funny is that guy who does those videos, like, he doesn't record his face while he's cooking because he dubs over everything.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, it's not good.
Really? I think the
it makes
food
his
looks
videos less, like, it makes them more impersonal, you know?
They get a lot of plays, though.
Yeah.
I don't think that it really matters. I think that people are watching it for, like, other reasons than seeing, like, you know, his personality or whatever. They just want to see what that guy's cooking up.
Yeah.
Before we jump in, I just want to go ahead and hopefully inspire you guys to go ahead and leave a review and a rating for the Macrocast if you enjoy this podcast.
If you leave a review on iTunes, we will make sure to read it on the show. And, you know, give you thanks. Even if it's mean, we'll read it.
It could be really mean. Say, I wish you guys were never, ever born. I wish you would just die in a pit of boiling mashed potatoes. Not even the good ones.
Sounds delicious.
Dying in a pit of gravy.
With like gravy too?
No gravy. Just,
No gravy.
Just mashed potatoes.
Yeah, that doesn't sound
mouth
good.
will be dry.
Let's talk a little macro news. The track you're listening to before this is, what is it?
It's LSD.
Yes.
Dave All the Rave. It's the Crystal Vision remix.
From our good friends Crystal Vision.
In Oklahoma.
So, we're doing something different with this release, and we're going to it has 5 remixes and an original spread out over 2 releases.
It's got hella remixes.
So we're going to, like, kind of preview these tracks one by one. You'll hear the other 4 remixes and the original soon, so keep listening to the show.
And let me just tell you, it's all gonna be sexy as hell, girl.
Yeah.
You're gonna love that shit.
And we should be, I'm thinking after those 2 releases, we probably will have a couple more, but if you make dance music and you want to send us a demo, send them to macrorecords@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And make sure that you send a private SoundCloud link.
Exactly.
We just prefer to not have to. Yeah, we prefer to stream the tracks. Just don't attach it or send it as an attachment. That makes things really difficult and muddles everything up for us. So
exactly.
Be courteous, and we have submission protocol just like every other record label. So what's going on in the world?
Let's talk a little bit of this is kind of music news. So Vice put out an article. He's showing me an eraser.
I'm interviewing you.
Oh.
I have this 2-foot big pencil here. 2-foot big.
Since we're talking about interviews, did you see the Jesse Eisenberg and Kristen Stewart interview where, like, they interviewed each other?
No. Was it good, or was it a farce?
No, it was kind of a farce, but it was meant to be funny. Like, she was asking Jesse Eisenberg questions like, who's your favorite designer? And, like, what are you wearing?
He's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
He's kind of an awkward dude.
He's like, I think the questions got switched, or...
It couldn't have been nearly as bad as that other Jesse Eisenberg interview that I showed you.
But that was actually cringeworthy. They were making fun of it.
Where he was like, you're on my time right now. Like, why are you insulting me? Like, I'm not on your time.
I want to go see that movie.
Yeah, I do too.
It got decent reviews.
It looks like a lot of fun. Yeah. He's like, I killed someone with a spoon. Who talked? Did we talk about that before on the podcast?
I don't know. American History, or American, what's it called?
American History X.
No, that's not it.
With Jesse Eisenberg.
It's called American Ultra. MK Ultra.
Do you know what I heard recently is that they're making a new Scarface. It's a remake. Brian De Palma is going to direct it. You know who's going to play Tony Montana?
This movie does not need a remake.
I know, but do you know who's going to play Tony Montana?
Do I want to know?
Yes. It's
Tell
not
me.
going to be good.
Oh.
Well, it might be. It's Leo.
DiCaprio?
Yes.
What?
How are they going to make him Cuban?
Well, I mean, he doesn't have to be Cuban, I guess.
Tony Montana has to be Cuban.
But is it... Okay, so if they do this, if it's like a reimagining, or is it just a complete remake?
It's a remake. It's a total
the same story.
Yeah.
That's lame.
It's the same director.
I have no desire to see this. And Leo, I mean, you're trying to win an Oscar, man.
Like,
this
why?
is not going to help you.
He's like, I'll just do whatever I can at this point.
God.
Yeah, I just thought that was pretty interesting. I went back to that bar. I remember the guy who talked about Jurassic World. He was like, I've seen it like 5 times. He's like, I talked to him about Ant-Man. He was like, I've seen it 3 times.
Yeah, there's a bunch of movies I want to go see right now. There's quite a few.
What are the other ones?
I want to see The Man from U.N.C.L.E. And I want to...
Where is U.N.C.L.E.?
Even though the new Hitman got terrible reviews, honestly...
I heard that guy also said that movie was really good.
The reviews are worse than the Fantastic Four movie.
Really?
Yeah.
What does it have on Rotten Tomatoes?
6%.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Really?
And that's... Okay, so the first Hitman movie has like 20% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I watched that. It was not good.
It's not terrible.
I did not enjoy it.
It's like watchable. I think the action scenes were cool in it, and Timothy Olyphant was actually okay as Agent 47. Rupert Friend, who's a really good actor
in Homeland.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of sucks, but
Homeland has good writing though.
True,
and
but it's also got good acting. It's like a bunch of those actors have a lot of experience.
It's kind of sad to say, but I feel like a lot of like the movie business is kind of dying down. Like there's not that much you'd be hard pressed to find really great movies these days. Yeah. I mean, they still happen for sure, but like I think the superhero thing is such an easy bet because the stories have already been written. Yeah. But then some guy has to come and just fuck it up and just be like, "Oh, well, you know what? I'm going to do kind of this storyline, but like we're going to make it like this because test audiences say that they like romance and they like, you know, it's like why the fuck are you messing up something that's good already?"
I think test audiences and going off data like that is the worst thing like all these companies, that's why this shit is failing, you know? Because they go off that. They test a small group of people, or they're like, oh, well, this actor didn't screen test well, and like this storyline didn't screen test well, so let's change it. Let's do this because this is what people really want, and it's never what people really want. We need more diversity.
We need more diversity, so we're gonna do this. We need, you know, like I mean, it's like why don't you just stick with the proper storylines, like the way that it was written, that all these fans like that's already tried and tested.
Yeah.
Like it's easy enough to make that movie. It's already fucking storyboarded for you. Like, you know? That's why comics are great. They're already storyboarded for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but well, I mean, no one really makes a movie directly from a comic book, though.
Well, it's unfortunate. But there's too much information.
I don't know if I agree with that. I think
there's too much information.
I mean, either way, like that source material needs to be like respected. But when you're making a movie, it's a whole different process.
Like I think the DC animated features do it really well. Like they take kind of liberties with it and change it up a little bit, but they stick to the same story.
Yeah.
Like what was it? Son of Batman or Batman versus Robin? Was it Batman versus Robin?
None of those are really like they take a lot of liberties with.
Which one was the Court of Owls in?
Both of them, or in the first one.
No, it was in the second one.
Yeah, the Batman versus Robin, the second one.
They meshed 2 stories up right there.
Well,
it was Court of Owls and then
Batman and Robin storylines. Yeah, it's really weird.
Well, I think they took the most liberty with being like, okay, it's gonna be Dollmaker in the very beginning, and he's gonna die.
Yeah. That was kind of stupid.
I mean, the Court of Owls never... Well, I guess they did kind of get defeated in that movie, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they never get defeated. You can't defeat the Court of Owls.
They're always watching.
There's plenty of Hooters.
Yeah. They got tons of Hooters, man.
It's a woman that runs the Court of Owls, too.
In the comic. Or in that movie.
But not in the comics?
Mm-mm.
Who did it in the comics?
It was some other dude.
But
it was like a friend of Bruce Wayne.
But didn't he die?
I don't remember. It's been so long since I read Court of Owls.
In Endgame, he goes back and has to talk to the Court of Owls again.
Yeah, well,
it's like another group of people.
he didn't completely wipe them out.
There was another Talon too.
Yeah.
You can't wipe them out.
Exactly.
They're too like far spread, and I don't think they even just exist in Gotham. I think they're like all over the world.
But he definitely put a dent in their operations.
Did you ever see that Instagram post that like Kendall Jenner made, or it was like Kylie Jenner? She was like, I can't believe that Batman watches over this great city, and it was like a picture of New York, and someone was like, Batman watches over Gotham, you dumb bitch.
Right? Oh, man.
Why are all these people like tweeting and talking about one of them getting a Ferrari? They're all like, I wish I had a Ferrari like her. Like, dude, don't you realize that
it was her 18th birthday and Tyga bought her a Ferrari.
Like, don't you realize that these people have way too much money? Like,
yeah.
They've all got millions upon millions of dollars. Like, bitch, you're never getting a Ferrari. I saw one of my Facebook friends posted that, and she just like lives in LA. Just lives there, like doesn't, you know what I mean? Like doesn't have a career, like doesn't, you know? And she's just like, why can't I find a guy who's gonna give me a Ferrari? It's like, well, I mean,
you go find a guy like Tyga.
Yeah, it's kind of a ridiculous question, though. I mean, Tyga's obviously in it to date chicks like what's her name? What even is her name?
Kylie Jenner.
Okay, so there's two different Jenners.
Yeah,
there's a few of them.
There's three.
Did you see? Did you see Bill Burr talking about? What's his name now? Kris Jenner's her name now? What the hell?
Caitlyn Jenner?
Caitlyn Jenner.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm just like I'm totally spacing on this. But Bill Burr talked about that on Conan for a minute. I would suggest that you guys go check that out. It's pretty funny. Do you like Bill Burr?
He's alright.
I think he's a funny dude. I wouldn't be surprised if he was like one of the top comedians in the next couple years. I think that he's like, I mean, he draws a lot from like the Louis C.K. kind of thing, like tell shit how it is.
I'm not a huge fan of Louis though. Like,
you don't like Louis?
It's not that
you ain't about Louis.
It's not that he's not funny. It's just that he's not. Like, I don't find him that funny. You know?
I think his stand-up is hilarious, man.
I guess I'm not a dad like Louis. Oh, he tells too many dad jokes.
No, but he's like mean about it though, which is funny. He's like, oh, my kids make these shitty drawings. I'm like, why do you do that? I don't know. Why did the chicken cross the road? I don't know. Who do you like as far as stand-up comedy goes? Like, who are your favorite comedians?
I haven't really.
You're not. I liked Robin Williams a lot.
Yeah,
he was pretty. He had his own thing going though. He was crazy.
I've heard a lot of like new people. I never remember their names.
What was that? You were listening to someone in your car. It was like a comedy podcast, and you were like, "God, she's terrible."
Should I call her out?
I don't know.
Cameron Esposito. God, she's terrible. I can't like. I laugh at literally none of her jokes.
Hey, well, I think that comedy is like a really subjective thing, though, too.
Yeah, honestly, not everyone has to be funny to everyone.
She'd probably listen to this podcast and be like, these guys are not funny at all.
Well, I mean, we're not really comedians either.
Oh, well, I try to be pretty funny.
Okay.
Hey, guys, how many laughs have you had? Yeah. Post a comment. I watched a few shorts from Key and Peele. I hadn't been keeping up with Key and Peele, but have you seen the one where they're like, it's like Saw? And they're like, honestly, this is a pretty good situation.
Yeah,
could be worse.
I love how they've been putting the uncensored ones up on YouTube. Most of their skits, it's pretty awesome.
So you okay? I've been like kind of ranting to you about this, and I mean we're not talking about TV, but I just want to like go in because we're not going to talk about this. But I've been watching Rick and Morty, and have you ever given that a chance?
I've watched a bunch of it.
You have.
It's funny.
I think that honestly, it's gotten like I didn't realize how high the reviews are, but this new season of Rick and Morty is really good. But they started bleeping out the cuss words. Which I kind of don't like. I like when it's like you can hear like the cursing and it's just...
Well, you know what it is I'm via the method of you watching them, they either recorded an uncensored version or a censored version. Like
apparently it's all censored for the second season. The first season was not like that.
If it comes on at Adult Swim doesn't start till late at night, dude. They can play whatever the fuck they want.
But I think that the reason that they did that was just
sponsors maybe.
Yeah, I don't know, but dude, the first season, like I watched the entire first season, and I mean I can't even count how many times they said "fuck" in one episode. It was unbelievable.
Yeah,
like Rick is like, yeah, fuck yeah, motherfucker. Like he was like, my new catchphrase is "I love my grandkids." They were like, oh really? He was like, nah, fuck that motherfucker. Like. That show goes off its hinges sometimes. It's pretty good.
It's pretty funny.
Dan Harmon is fucking a madman, dude. He's just the creator. I don't know if he like actually writes it or whatever.
He probably does.
But I think he probably writes some of them. But that show is it's really like it's kind of original. Like it takes turns that I don't expect. There was one episode that I watched where there's like a gaseous entity that they have to save from annihilation, from like being killed, and they're like, "What's your name?" He's like, "I have no name." He's like, "We'll call you Fart." He's like, "Fart." I like that name.
Yeah, it's written by Dan Harmon.
Are they all?
He's written 15 episodes.
And
another 15 by Justin Roiland.
Yeah, that's right. The music is fucking awesome on that show too. It's all composed by this one dude, and apparently Dan Harmon is like really into this shit called African Dream Pop, and that's like the only show where you can find it. I actually recorded some of it on my phone as a sound clip. This is from a clip where she's like operating on a dying deer. It's fucking ridiculous, man. Yeah, I do. If you guys haven't watched that show, I would recommend it. I'm also a big fan of Community, though. I think Community is a blast. Anyway, we've kind of divulged from the topic. I don't even remember what the real topic. Did we even have a topic, or we just started going off on comedy and all kinds of crazy shit?
Well, we were going to talk about something, but
okay.
I think
we can.
It kind of makes sense to. Let's talk real world news.
Yeah, let's go ahead and jump in.
So, if you guys haven't heard about this, Banksy has created an exhibit in Bristol called Dismaland, and it's like this dilapidated castle type thing.
You
and
guys
like,
know that I'm a huge like Disneyland fan.
Uh-huh.
I love going to Disneyland, and when I heard about this, I was like, "Oh, this is cool," but it like jocks on Disneyland and rags on it so hard, man. It's all about like Banksy is so anti-disestablishmentarian, like you know what I mean. He's like, "Oh, like fuck all of this commercial bullshit," you know. Like there's tell us about what some of the exhibits are there. There's 15, right?
Well, I mean, I don't think I have a list of them.
Did you see them all?
No, but okay. So I was looking at this, which is 2,000 people lined up trying to get in, and they stopped selling tickets online because so many people tried to buy them. So they said you have to come there and physically get a ticket at the front gate.
Wait, so they're selling tickets?
Yeah.
Don't you think that's kind of like the opposite of what this whole thing stands for?
I guess. I wonder if because okay, so the whole scope of this thing is pretty massive, right?
Yeah.
So
huge.
like I'm sure Banksy partnered with someone, and they were like, "Okay, we'll pay for you like to be able to do all this shit." Like they got the castle and whatnot, and they probably bought all the supplies he needed. And then they said, "But we're going to charge people to get in."
How much do they charge?
£3.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's not bad at all. Yeah,
it would be bad if it was like something kind of like going to an actual theme park. It's
like 90 pounds.
Yeah, and then you have to skip lines and pay an extra $150 for a flash pass. Or
no, and it's not like that at all. It was one in, one out. So once it was full, people were still lined up or queued up, as they like to say in Britain. And
how can you not laugh at that? We're so clever.
They just waited for their turn to get in, but I don't think everyone got in, and there was tons of people there.
Well, it's still going, isn't it? Or is it done? Like, was it a one-day thing?
Oh, well, this is weird. Okay, so the leader of North Somerset Council, which is like the city council in this town, what?
You're just like,
I'm confused.
He's speechless.
Well, I'm confused.
He doesn't know what's going on.
It's like approved by their city council, and it's gonna be tax revenue.
Yeah,
it's a $6 million boost to tax revenue.
It's gonna stick around.
£6 million.
But I don't know. I mean, it's an art. It's just a huge art exhibit.
Yeah.
And I guess they've kind of planned for it to kind of, like, after, with all the rain and stuff, it's going to eventually look shittier, which is kind of good for them. They're cool with that. One of the one of the things is, like, a huge sand castle.
Yeah.
It's like a 15-foot tall sand castle. There's a bunch of Disney, like, references, like The Little Mermaid, which is all glitched out. There's the castle. There's the Disneyland sign, but instead of having, like, all of the letters, it just says dead. Oh. Yeah, there's another one that says it's at the actual, like, it's like the Disneyland sign, but it says dead. Uh-huh. And I don't know, there's a carousel where, like, one of the horses is getting gutted. And I think that I don't know if it's, like, real people or if they're, like, fake people, like mannequins or something like that, but
they're probably mannequins.
I saw a bunch of people that looked strikingly real, and, like, one of them's, like, holding a bunch of balloons that's like, I'm an idiot or some shit like that. And they all say it's really, like, some bizarre artwork. Like, we just talked about Louis, but in one of the episodes of Louis, he goes on a date with Pamela Adlon, she voices Bobby from King of the Hill. Uh-huh. And she is his, like, love interest. Which is, I don't know, it is what it is, but it's like all right. But so they go to this weird, like, underground art exhibition in New York City, and one of the things is, like, a bunch of dead people. They're all just, like, on the floor, like, dead. And I don't know if they're, like, real or if they're, like, real people that are acting or if it's, like, mannequins or something like that. But that's kind of what it reminded me of. Just a bunch of really weird stuff.
It is trippy. It's kind of creepy too.
Yeah, it's I don't know. There's some really funny stuff too. There's like
they could do like a haunted house type thing there, and it could probably be pretty scary.
It's not like supposed to be attractions like that though. Yeah. It's supposed to be just like, okay, come and look at this stuff, but you know, I mean, don't have fun because like fun is like something that doesn't exist in Dismaland.
It's an art piece, dude.
It's not. But what? Okay, so this is what I had seen when I first saw about it. I think I had seen it posted to Twitter, and someone was like, Disney opens up, or it was Banksy opens up his own theme park, and I looked at it. I was like, this is not like. That's totally misleading. It's just it's a huge art exhibition. Yeah, it's like spaced out.
I mean, I wouldn't expect anything else.
I saw something there that was like they're like selling tacos or some shit like or pizza. It's like something that says like pizza right here. So I don't know if it's like that's part of the exhibition and it's like kind of a joke, or if
people just need food,
or if they're like, yo, we'll sell pizza. I mean, we might as well sell something here, right? Yeah, might jack up prices.
Well, that's part of their $6 million.
I mean,
if £6 million revenue.
If they were like, okay, so we're gonna actually turn this into a theme park, Banksy. It's doing well enough. Let's put some like rides and stuff in there, and then Disney's like, we're shutting you the fuck down.
Well, I mean,
you can't do this
in England though.
Dude, it's Disney's international. They've got Disneyland in Paris. They're opening up
Disneyland in England.
Paris is close enough to England. It's not like
they're different countries, dude.
I understand that, but still,
there may be some loophole in the law over there that would allow them to get around it.
Do we really need a Disneyland in every country? No. Holy shit, that'd be like Disneyland Uruguay. Like, why?
What I'm saying is, given that there's no Disneyland in the United Kingdom, and it's like there's international laws, it's different. They can't just.
There's international trademark law that transcends all of that bullshit. You can't just do that.
But they didn't steal the trademark.
I mean, they're not. Don't tell me that they're not using Disney characters in that part.
What I'm saying is there could be. I'm not a lawyer, but I guarantee you there might be a way for them to get around it. I mean, but anyway, it doesn't need to exist.
Disney's a pretty that is the bottom line. Disney's a pretty ballsy company, though, dude. If they want to shut something down, they can. Yeah. They're like one of the top 50 companies in the world. Google, Disney, Facebook.
Deadmau5 won his case against Disney, kind of.
Mm-mm. They can't. Yes. You can't wear a mouse head to Disneyland.
No,
you can't.
Okay, but they were trying to stop Deadmau5 from performing as Deadmau5.
Oh yeah, you can't. Yeah, but that's a different thing. He was also like the whole other side of it, where he was like trying to do the other thing as trademarking the mouse heads, that people could like do that, and you know what I mean? Yeah. Then it would be a conflict. We've talked about this before. It would be a conflict of interest. Like if someone was wearing a Deadmau5 shirt or a mask or something like that, or some kind of shit like that, or Deadmau5 ears, at the park, people would be like, I want to buy those Mickey Mouse ears. And they'd be like, you can't buy those here because they're not owned by Disney.
Yeah.
You know? So Disney has this Halloween party, and it's at Disneyland in October, obviously. And they have like a bunch of stipulations for what you can wear as far as costumes go. Mm-hmm. You are allowed to wear a mask, which seems bizarre to me. But the other thing is that you if you dress up as a Disney character, you're not allowed to take photos with anybody while you're there. So that's kind of like some pretty anal shit, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I just said that.
Well, I mean, it's another company's Dead Mouse has had dealings with Ferrari. They get real butthurt over certain things too. Like people like Floyd Mayweather they're not allowed to like drive certain Ferraris anymore. They can't, like, when you buy a Ferrari, there's also some sort of contract, I believe.
Yeah,
too.
there is. You can't resell them, too. It's, like, really, it's a pain in the ass to resell them.
And, like, look at what happened to Deadmau5 and his Ferrari. Like, they wouldn't allow that, you know?
Now he's got a Lamborghini.
And Lambo is totally cool with it.
Well, I think that Lamborghini was, like, made because...
In opposition to Ferrari.
Yeah, they were, because some guy said that Lamborghini was originally making tractors or something like that, and he was like, your tractors suck. And he was like, fuck you, I'll make a car that's better than yours. So, yeah, Lamborghini and Ferrari are definitely in constant competition with each other. I mean, those are like the two sports cars that you really think of. You know what I mean? Then you got like Maserati and stuff like that. Deadmau5 is all about cars.
Yeah.
It's really funny. I watched one of the coffee runs that he did about 6 months or like a year ago. It was with Dylan Francis and Skrillex. The guy will not stop talking about cars. He's like, oh, damn, is that a Ferrari right there? He's like driving around okay, so the dude is like pretty stacked. Like he's driving Dylan Francis and Skrillex around in a Bentley, which is like a V12, like fucking fast as shit. And he just keeps like hauling ass around the streets of Toronto, and Dylan Francis several times says, I almost peed my pants.
Yeah,
that's a really interesting series, though. You guys should check it out if you're into electronic music and into Deadmau5 and his antics. And you know,
yeah,
he plays some good music on there too. I got introduced to. Have you heard that Kill the Noise remix of Diplodocus by Noisia? It's really good. It's a really creative remix. But anyway, yeah. So Dismaland, I don't think that any of those guys will be going. Well, maybe actually Deadmau5 will probably support that. He'd probably go there.
I could see him.
I mean, I'm sure that the guy will not go to Disneyland anytime soon.
They could have a Deadmau5 show there. Just saying.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, we're just throwing out ideas here.
So let's
unlikely.
Let's talk about this. Some presidential candidate polling was done in 3 states this past week, and the results of which were plastered over every news source in the country. So there was 2 candidates on there. Wait, let me see.
This caused a huge social media buzz, too.
Okay, so 38% of people in these 3 states said they would vote for Hillary Clinton. 40% of people in those 3 states said they would vote for Donald Trump. And 9% of people in those 3 states said that they would vote for a candidate called Deez Nuts.
Didn't the number rise like exponentially though too?
Well, 12% of people were not sure. I mean, you guys should have voted for Deez Nuts. I think it's pretty clear.
I think that maybe it was like a fake thing that I saw, but it was like 39% for Deez
Nuts.
No,
that was fake.
So I also saw something about this today. It's like kind of as a follow-up, but Deez Nuts has endorsed Bernie Sanders.
So it turns out that Deez Nuts is a 15-year-old from somewhere in Iowa, like a really small town, a town with only 100 and some people. Like, literally nobody lives in this town. And obviously, he can't run for president. He's not old enough. But
his name is not actually Deez Nuts
either.
No,
it's not. I don't have his real name.
But I'll tell you what, guys. I know who I'm voting for.
Who's that?
Deez Nuts.
Are you going to write that in on the ticket? You can write in a name. Just write Deez Nuts.
Can you write in a name?
I think so, yeah.
You just fucking... It's like you could write in Kanye West.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, hey, Mr. West, don't know how to break this to you, sir, but you're going to be president. He'd be like, hell yeah, I already knew that.
I doubt he would win the electoral votes necessary to become president.
I mean, Jay-Z probably runs that shit.
What? Jay-Z runs the Electoral College. Okay. This is like a clickbait article. Jay-Z runs Electoral College.
Do you ever browse around? We talk about Reddit a lot. Do you ever browse around r/circle jerk?
I've seen, yeah.
Oh my god.
But sometimes it's just too much of a circle jerk.
Oh, it's ridiculous. But sometimes it's really good too.
Yeah.
I love a good little bit of circle jerking. That sounds weird.
So let's talk about some sad news. The Route 29 Batman. He was a guy who would dress up like Batman, and he would go to like children's hospitals and stuff in Maryland and other parts of the East Coast to like cheer kids up as Batman. He died this week. He pulled over on the freeway, and I guess he had a flat tire or something.
He was Lamborghini, right?
Yeah.
His Lamborghini like broke down. It was some kind of engine problem or something. So he had to open up. He popped the hood, and he was looking inside, and some guy fucking rear-ended his Lamborghini, and it ran over him. So he was killed by his own Batmobile.
It's fucked up.
It's really sad. Like, dude, it almost makes you think, like, was it intentional? I don't know.
No.
I
don't think so. Either way, though, it's a loss to that community over there, and it's like even the official Batman Facebook page posted about this. So this guy was like he was well known and loved by many. So it's kind of sad to see him go.
I mean, he was a wealthy guy. He donated like $50,000 to doing, or more than that, to doing this for kids.
Oh, way more, because that Lambo cost more than $50,000. He bought the Lambo specifically for that.
You don't think that he drove that as well?
Well, he drove it as Batman.
Wait, didn't we talk about this like 2 weeks ago or something? We were talking about how he got pulled over.
Yeah. He had got pulled over, and the cops were taking pictures with him, and like they were super cool with him. There's another guy who does the same thing on the West Coast. He's been showing his support, and he's been out this whole week trying to. What?
I'm sorry, it's not relevant to this. I'm on Circle Jerk, and I see that
Trent's just surfing Reddit. I mean,
Bernie Sanders wants to cut the BS and now wants to be known as Ernie Anders. I'm so sorry, man. I gotta lighten the mood. Today I learned that Microsoft was actually Bill Gates' nickname in his high school locker room. Dude, this is so fucking golden. Oh my god, dude. Oh. I'm dying. I'm sorry. Alright. If I find another good one, I'll let you know. Ernie Anders, dude. Bernie Sanders wants to cut all the bullshit. He wants to now be known as Ernie Anders.
Like he added those two letters just to make him seem more important. And now he's gonna cut the bullshit. What?
Ernie Anders.
So let's talk about this.
God, that was good, man. You did that.
2 women are graduating from the Army Rangers course this week.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
It's pretty significant. Oh my god, what is that? Oh, okay.
What?
There's something out there. It was just a cat.
Oh,
there's a cat out there. Yeah,
lots of cats out. We're really distracted today, aren't we?
But yeah,
there's a cat. Whoa.
two women have passed and graduated from the Army Ranger course, which is like that's pretty awesome. You know, it's a step towards equality for everyone.
Yeah, that's a big deal. They're gonna kick some serious ass, dude.
I mean, Army Rangers are hardcore. I mean,
what do you know what's going on with this like Hillary Clinton email thing? I have no idea what's going on, but I see it at the gym all the time.
She was using her personal email account to send classified information.
Dick pics?
No, like top secret classified government documents.
Who was she sending it to?
Well, like people she normally would, but she was supposed to be using her secured government email.
She's like, hey,
for
Barbara.
That. No.
Look at what's going on.
She was supposed to be using her secure government email address, but she was using her personal one. And apparently they turned over her devices to the Attorney General, but they wiped them all before because they contained classified information. So
and the
it's
FBI said that they could get the information back.
Probably. I mean, as most people who work in computer science or who have ever studied it know, nothing is really ever gone.
Right.
You could delete that porn over and over again, but it's it's still there. Like, someone with enough knowledge can find it.
Thank God.
Are you glad?
Terabytes upon terabytes worth of porn on Hillary Clinton's hard drive. You know what? Deez Nuts would never do that.
No.
He would never lie to you guys.
You know, I always
Neither would Ernie.
When I saw the story about Deez Nuts, I thought it was the guy who got, like, his video went viral a couple months ago, like 6 months ago.
You sent that video to me. It scared the shit out of
me.
me.
The guy who's like, Deez Nuts, got him! Like, that guy.
He's like making a prank phone call.
Yeah, no, he thinks he's punking one of his friends or something, but they're like, dude, you're stupid.
The best prank phone call of all time is the John Cena one.
Yeah, it is pretty good.
Dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Do you want to support
John Cena
at the WWE Super Slam?
So let's talk about this. You're familiar with the movie The Goonies, of course, right?
Yeah, this is something that I'm actually kind of stoked about.
So the house from the beginning of The Goonies, like the one where they lived and they find the treasure map and whatnot, it's pretty famous over the years.
This is not the story that I thought you were going to talk about.
The same way the house from Breaking Bad where Walter threw the pizza is pretty famous.
And the family wants them to stop throwing pizzas on top of the house?
Yeah,
something similar is happening here.
Vince Gilligan begged fans not to throw pizzas on top of
The family, like, reached out to him and they were like, people keep throwing pizzas on top of my house.
So apparently people keep going up to the house that the Goonies was in and doing the truffle shuffle.
What is that?
When the kid pulls up his shirt and is like shaking around his belly and shit. So people nonstop are outside these people's house, these poor people, and they're doing the truffle shuffle.
Kind of trolling almost?
Yeah, so apparently they're trying to put up a wall or something so people can't see in, so...
Did you, speaking of trolling, I don't know if you saw this, but I don't know if it's even recent, but Foo Fighters rickrolled the Westboro Baptist Church.
Oh.
They, like, drove by in a truck blasting Rick Astley, Never Gonna Give You Up. And there was, like, a dude in underwear, like, dancing back there, and they were, like, holding up a sign, like, you got rickrolled. Dude, the Foo Fighters are just getting more and more awesome, man.
There's an episode of Family Guy where it's like the Back to the Future, the same thing, where Death sends Peter back in time and he fucks up his marriage and the kids are disappearing from existence. And at the end, so Brian is the guy who takes over in the band, right? And they play the first song like the one people are expecting or whatever. And then he pulls out the keyboard guitar and he's like, this is a song by a gay guy. And it's Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up. And the guy, he's like, hey, it's your cousin Marvin Astley. I found that generic sound you've been looking for.
Yeah. Rick Astley is kind of a lucky dude in the fact that, like, that song is so hated. You know what I mean?
I love that song. No, I'm not afraid.
People, like, Rickrolling is becoming a big thing again. Like, people have been Rickrolling a lot on Reddit, and a lot of the responses are hilarious. They're like, joke's on you, motherfucker. I listen to that song all the way through every time.
Yeah. I love that song, man.
Are we still talking about news?
We were gonna get into movies.
Okay, well, we said that we would let you guys know about all the stuff that's happening with this as well. Jared Fogle, he's going to jail, baby.
He pleaded guilty.
He's going to jail. Wait, so at first, it's been so many different things with this guy, but now he did have child porn.
First he was guilty, then we thought he was innocent. Now he's guilty, and
then it was like, oh, but he had sex with this underage girl, and then it's like, and then they're like, no, but he did have child porn actually.
Subway posted on their Facebook page. They said, "We've already dropped Jared. Please don't ask us any more questions about it." Like,
do you ever see, like? Well, I sent you Ken M. Yeah. And I think it's hilarious when old people, like, post to companies like Facebook pages and ask them things like ridiculous shit. How do I find my search bar? Like crazy shit like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would love to have a conversation with Subway at some point. That's all I'm trying to say. Or Taco Bell, KFC even. Norm Macdonald is the new Colonel Sanders.
Is that Norm Macdonald?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Did you know that? He signed a new thing. So in light of all of this Jared Fogle crazy bullshit that's been happening, people have been saying, I think that we should just get former SNL cast to fill in all the like spokesperson.
Watch, it's going to turn out that Norma Donald is also a child molester.
No.
Well, he's kind of creepy.
Nah, dude, Norma Donald is hilarious, man.
I think he's hilarious too.
And
I'm not saying, but there could be a chance.
I really hope that's not the case,
No.
dude. I like Norm Macdonald a lot. Like he's a dude that I think is like genuinely hilarious, but he never really got the chance that a lot of those other guys did. Like Mike Myers, Will Ferrell, like a lot of those guys never. You know, Norm Macdonald. I love the Celebrity Jeopardy thing where he's Turd Ferguson. He's Burt Reynolds. He's like, no, named Turd Ferguson. It's a big hat. It's funny. No. Hey, Trebek.
I always liked Mad TV more than SNL.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, Mad TV has spawned a lot of awesome stuff. Like, Key and Peele are hilarious, and SNL in its heyday, I feel, was better. But
I could agree with that.
But now SNL is like not funny
terrible.
anymore. I mean, well, look, you have fucking Kenan
Kenan Thompson
from All That.
Yeah.
And
Good Burger.
All of the guys all of like the cast from All That have just fallen off completely. Amanda Bynes is in a psychiatric hospital.
What?
Did you not know that?
What happened to her?
Dude, she like flipped out and said that her father put a microchip in her brain.
What?
Said some
and she was like clawing it out. She was like, "Get the microchip out."
She said that her father molested her or something like that as a child, and then she like recanted that statement. And she's just all over the place. Like, I mean, she's really good. She's actually a pretty fucking talented girl. I don't know if you ever watched, and it's not a great movie, but if you ever watched Hairspray, the new one, where she was in it, that girl can sing, man.
Yeah.
Like, and dude, John Travolta as that big woman is amazing. Like, you gotta give him a little bit of love for like shaking it around like that and kicking some ass, dude. That guy can sing too.
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, I never really knew that.
I mean,
I guess I'm just like out of the loop with
one
all these celebrities.
of the most famous musical movies of all time.
Grease,
yeah,
and
Grease and The Sound of Music are probably like the two most popular musicals.
Saturday Night Fever too, but that's all the Bee Gees. But I like Cara. What's her name? Cara Delevingne. Yeah. I had no idea. She's playing Enchantress in the new Suicide Squad. I had no idea she's so fucking popular. I saw her Instagram page, 18 million followers.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Like, she posted something yesterday, and it was, like, just a quote, and I was like, oh, it got 633 likes. And I was like, oh, 633,000 likes.
Yeah.
All these people are like, oh, fuck yeah, dude.
She was in that another movie, too, where it's, like, Paper Towns or some shit. It's like
Paper Towns.
Yeah, it was based off of
that just sounds like a bad
teen
movie.
Novel or something, like a famous teen novel.
Did you see the photo of and this is also talking kind of about some like a terrible movie, but did you see the photo of Mars where they were like, it looks like some kind of crazy animal on Mars or something like that? No. It looked like a face hugger, but a lot of people were like, no, it's just the camera fucking up.
Wait, are you sure this was
on Reddit.
A legitimate source?
Yeah, it was from NASA.
Oh, okay.
And it was, but they were like, I guarantee that it was just like a screwed up photo. Like, they should go investigate it, though. They were like, send Matt Damon to investigate it.
From that new movie, The Martian.
Some other guy, and then someone responded, they were like, he's a biologist, damn it.
That movie actually doesn't, now that I saw an extended trailer, and it kind of looks interesting. I might go see it.
It's got a good cast.
Yeah.
I looked into Everest a little bit more as well.
Uh-huh.
The movie it might be pretty good.
We'll see.
It's just kind of a shitty title.
I want to go see movies, man. Let's talk about movies.
Okay, let's talk about them.
So
that was a good segue into movies.
The box office this week, not a lot happening. Hitman Agent 47. Oh, it's at 7%.
So it gained 1%.
I guess, yeah. Sinister 2, 12%.
God, okay. Have you seen the first one?
No.
It's so dumb, dude. I can't imagine that the second one would be any better. Hey, did you look up Insidious 3?
No.
I wonder what the rating is on that.
American Ultra, 45%, so that's not bad. I mean, not great.
It seems like it's going to be a fun movie, though. I like Jesse Eisenberg. I think that he's a good actor.
She's funny that way? I have no idea what that is.
What is that, like a Tyler Perry movie?
And Grandma. Some movie called Grandma has 89%.
Really?
Yeah.
Who's in that?
Lily Tomlin and Julia Garner.
Dude, so the Insidious Chapter 3 has 60% on Rotten Tomatoes, so kind of worth seeing. I still want to see that.
Like the top box office is still mostly the same. Like Straight Outta Compton still at 89%.
Don't really need to see that in theaters.
Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation 93%. Man from U.N.C.L.E. 67%. Fantastic Four 8%. The Gift 92%. That's a horror movie. That's pretty high for a horror movie.
What's it about?
I don't know. It looks like not very scary.
You know what I'm super over is I'm over getting like bombarded by YouTube ads for fucking horror movies.
Yeah.
I'll be at the gym and I like to cycle through music on YouTube sometimes because I just don't have it in my playlist, so I'll just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, listen to this ad. It's like, like some crazy shit. M. Night Shyamalan is coming up with a new movie which is bound to be terrible. And
it's going to have twists, dude.
It's called The Visit.
Okay.
And it's about, like, some kids that go and visit. They're like, it's like something's not right with grandma and grandpa. So one of the previews that I saw is it's a total Hansel and Gretel thing. The grandma's like, hey, sweetheart, can you clean the oven? Get in there deeper. Like, so she, like, the kid gets all the way inside the oven.
And she closes it.
Yeah, and it's like, okay. Like, oh, we totally didn't know that was going to happen the first second you said clean the oven. Like, I don't know. It's just gonna be a complete shit. But watch, that movie's gonna have like 99% on Rotten Tomatoes. Oh, it's his comeback. M. Night Shyamalan. No. Written by Will Ferrell.
When I mean, like, I saw Signs in theaters, and I was pretty young. That was
I don't even think that's a very good movie.
It's not. It's really not a good movie, but it's like...
Even The Sixth Sense is not a very good movie.
And you know, that's like his most beloved, and that's like my least favorite movie of his.
The Village is so bad.
I liked The Village, but then once you realize what's going on, you're like, oh, this is so dumb. Like, it seems so interesting at the beginning.
It's like a creature that's obviously made of wood.
I don't know. All I know is at the beginning of that movie, it was interesting, and then once you figure out what's going on, you're like, oh.
They're like, oh, it's in modern times.
Oh.
Don't you remember that?
Yeah.
And she, like, runs out and there's, like, a car.
Yeah, no, I remember that. But when you figure out that it's, like, what's his name? Bill Pullman. Is it Bill Pullman?
I don't know.
The dude from Casper, the Friendly Ghost, and like other.
That's a better movie than The Village. Dude, who else was like Christina Ricci?
Christina Ricci and Bill Pullman.
Bill Pullman. And there were like the other ghosts that were like green and they were all lazy slobs. Or one was like a slob, one was an asshole. That was a fun movie as a kid, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the other one is like there's another M. Night Shyamalan movie where like everyone is killing themselves.
What?
And like all these people are like dying in like really weird ways. Like one guy gets run over by a lawnmower.
What?
Yeah, everyone.
I have no idea what that
everyone
is.
Like starts killing themselves. And people were like, it's so dark. It's such a dark movie. Like, honestly, like, this guy, I don't know how he sustained a career. Oh, Lady in the Water. Another bad movie,
Isn't
dude.
that with Paul Giamatti?
God.
Yeah, that movie's not very good.
I like Paul Giamatti, too, in a lot of stuff. As the Rhino, though, not really. You liked him as the Rhino.
I mean, I wasn't opposed to it. I didn't think it was bad.
I mean, there's just better roles for him out there. He's a talented dude.
So, speaking of talented people, Jenifer Lawrence has now become the highest paid actress in the world.
When I saw this, I thought it said she was the highest paid actress of the world. I was like, this is not... And I saw it was from Vogue. I was like, who the fuck wrote this? No, she's the highest paid actress in the world. How much does she make?
Over 12 months, she makes $52 million.
I thought that, like... I thought that Meryl Streep like made more than that at one point. At some point, didn't some actors get paid like around that much for a movie?
No, I think the actors who get paid a lot for a movie, it's like $20 million a movie or like $30 million.
Like Tom Cruise.
Yeah, but
Tom Cruise once got paid $500 million. She's still
behind Robert Downey Jr., who is the highest paid actor at all in the world at $80 million
a year.
Yeah.
A year. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's not you still can't touch Oprah. You ain't got the Oprah money, though.
Well, and everyone's saying,
Oprah's like, a car for you, a car for you.
Even though this is, like, kind of getting closer to equal pay for men and women. Like Robert Downey Jr. still makes $30 million more than her a year.
Well, he's got a serious franchise. You know,
Yeah.
I'm so
well,
surprised
so does she. Hunger Games is pretty big.
it's not as big as Marvel Comics, dude. As like
enough to get her paid $52 million.
That's a big deal for
Yeah.
sure. I mean, kids love to go see that stuff, but it's not.
Hey.
You're a child. It's nothing like I mean, like you've got Disney's got Iron Man plastered all over the place, though.
Well, and it goes both ways too, because they talk about in June she signed on to do a sci-fi movie called Passengers with Chris Pratt, and Chris Pratt is making less money than her on that movie.
Of course, dude. He's a new dude to the scene, kind of.
Well, I mean, dude, Jurassic World, Guardians of the Galaxy, like those are big movies.
I mean, she's won fucking Oscars.
Yeah.
Like Chris Pratt has not won an Oscar yet.
So for that movie, Chris Pratt is making $12 million on that movie, and she's making $20.
That's still. Why would you even be mad, dude?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm only making $12 million for
But
a few months of work.
That just goes to show that it's not equal there for men and women. Like, you know, and it
goes both ways, baby.
Goes both ways, exactly.
Yeah. I think that I don't know. Like, I would love to see Jenifer Lawrence in a new M. Night Shyamalan movie.
No, why do you want to give him the ability to keep making movies?
I wonder how much he makes.
Like how much he's worth, or how much he makes
per movie. They're like, we'll pay you $50,000, dude. Like, honestly, like he is such a fart. He's like, that guy is like, you know, Wachowski brothers or Wachowski Starship now is like, ugh, dangerous, dude.
You know, how much of Sense8 did you watch? Just the first episode?
I watched like 2 episodes, and I was like, no, I can't do this.
Okay,
you said it gets a lot better.
No, I haven't even watched it.
Dude,
other people have said that once you get past that 3rd episode, it's really good.
There was one part where this woman's like, I didn't know that you could fuck me like that. And I was like, I can't watch this shit.
Like, M. Night Shyamalan's worth $50 million.
No, he's not hurting, dude. But Robert Downey Jr. makes $80 million a year. Do you really think that he's going to step away from that whole franchise?
No.
Fuck no.
He'll milk it as long as
dude,
he
I'll
can.
be Iron Man as long as you need me to. Like, look at Hugh Jackman is making a ton of money from all the Wolverine stuff, and I think that he said the same thing. He was like, I'm only Wolverine for right now, like up until this point, and then they were like, well, we'll pay you millions of dollars.
Okay.
He was like, all right, you pulled my leg, you really twisted my arm a bit, didn't you?
What? He's not British.
He's Australian.
Crikey, mate, your Australian sucks.
There are plenty of people with different accents.
Yeah.
Different accents out there.
Let's talk about this.
Sounded like South African.
Andrew Garfield, who's playing, he played Spider-Man in the last incarnation, has, you know, for those of you who don't know, he's actually a pretty big Spider-Man fan. And he said he's kind of happy that he's not, like, he doesn't have to play the role anymore, because now he can just kind of watch the movie as a fan. And he thinks Tom Holland is going to be great as Spider-Man.
Oh, well, that's a really humble thing to say.
Yeah, I mean...
That's cool.
Especially coming from Andrew Garfield, who has been known to say some non-humble things before.
Really? I didn't know that.
There was one point when he pissed off Emma Stone real bad. And
they were dating.
She walked out of an interview, though.
But they were dating.
I guess. I don't
or
know.
they had, like, broken up and things were weird. They're like, well, we have to do an interview, but we're not fucking anymore, so... You know?
Yeah.
That's just bizarre. I mean, anything sex convolutes everything. Like, you know, it's gonna be weird. Of course, she's gonna be like, I don't want to do this interview with this guy who like cheated on me or some shit. You know? Who knows? I don't know. I don't know if that actually happened. But
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. He cheated on Gwen Stacy, didn't he? And did he?
What?
Did they break up?
What?
In the movie?
No, she dies.
Yeah, they broke up. That's a natural way to break up.
Yeah.
Death is only the beginning.
So
I'd like to see another Mummy movie.
No.
But what?
With Brendan Fraser?
Dude, what happened to that guy?
Who cares?
What? I thought he was good.
No.
At one point he had
No.
At one point, dude, you didn't like him in The Mummy?
No.
Did you like him in The Mommy?
No.
You never. Dude, I saw. Okay, so Skrillex posted a preview for another horror movie as well, and it was like, oh my god, and it was like It's about like mom has changed or something like that, and I think it's a foreign horror film, or I don't know if it's foreign or whatever, but it's about two kids, and there's this mom who got like facial reconstructive surgery, and it does not look scary at all. But Skrillex was like, "This is horrific. This is going to be."
Did you see the video of Skrillex dancing salsa?
No. Is that real?
It's real. He was doing some interview on a Mexican radio station, and like he's like doing sa 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 sa. Yeah.
Speaking of Skrillex, did you hear that he and Deadmau5 had a falling out?
Yeah.
You did hear about that?
It's been like that for a while.
Nah. This only happened like a week ago.
He recently commented on it a week ago, but when was the last time you saw Skrillex with Deadmau5?
Well, that's valid, but
Yeah.
like a week ago, he was like, honestly, I think that Joel is just a really negative person, and that makes me not like his music. And Joel was like, oh, thanks, buddy. I'm only the first guy who put out here. Like,
The reason you're even in the game the way you are right
like,
now.
yeah, you would not be in dance music as big as you are if not for me. Like, you would just be a dude releasing stuff. Like,
Yeah, because Mousetrap made him.
Well, I mean, he still had to deal with Atlantic.
Well, but not till afterwards.
No, he was still signed to
his
Atlantic to begin
his
with.
first album was on Mousetrap, though.
Yeah, but I mean, they facilitated that.
Well,
as
he was signed to Sonny Moore probably to Atlantic.
Yeah.
And then when Skrillex got famous, he signed with them as Skrillex.
Do you remember the Sonny Moore electronic stuff that was
Yeah.
like coming out, and it was not really huge? But see, if you can still look it up. There's a Sonny Moore track called Mora out there, and I think that it only you'll probably find it only has like maybe 500,000 plays on YouTube, whereas the Skrillex stuff has millions upon millions of plays. You know,
Yeah.
he's a worldwide superstar now, Skrillex.
So let's jump over. Let's talk about DC movies. Nathan Fillion says he wants to play Booster Gold.
He wants to play everything.
Who else did he say he wanted to play?
He was like Hal Jordan. We'll do Hal Jordan.
Nah, he'd be better as Booster Gold.
He's voiced Hal Jordan.
I
But
mean-
I'm going to have to say that the animated features for Green Lantern, besides the TV show, they're just like
They're not good.
No, they're not good at all. The TV
yeah.
show is great.
Yeah, it's a shame we only got one season of that.
There's a petition to bring it back too. Like,
It's never gonna happen.
no, and dude, all these people are like, they're like, bring back Young Justice. Like, still people are tweeting about it.
There's not enough people tweeting about it.
It's funny because anybody who watches that show, afterwards their response is like, I need to see the third season. Like, it built it up so well, and we would have gotten Wally back from the Speed Force because you never really die. He just disappeared into the Speed Force.
Yeah, of course he wasn't dead.
Well,
And-
but see, you don't get that when you watch Young Justice. You're like watching it, and you're like, oh shit, I can't, like, you know, you wouldn't, if you didn't know anything about the Speed Force, you wouldn't know. Like,
Yeah, I
you're
mean,
like, oh, he died, and fucking
if
Artemis
you've read
is
enough Flash comics, you'll know, because the shit like that happens all the time. Like, people get trapped in the Speed Force for decades, and then come back, and a year's only passed, and then they have superpowers. Like, all sorts of crazy shit can happen with
I'll
the
be
Speed Force.
really honest with you. The only before I watched Young Justice, I had not read comics at all. Like, Young Justice was the reason that I watched that, and then I was like, I got to watch Justice League now. I watched Justice League, and then I was like, fuck, there's nothing else to watch. I'm gonna watch all the DC movies. Watch that, and I was like, dude, what the fuck am I gonna do now? So I just started reading the comics, which is really gratifying.
Yeah.
I had a conversation last night, and I was telling this girl, she was like, she was wearing these really, really cool pants, and it was like Wonder Woman and Supergirl on them, like all over, like super comic-y. And I was like, sweet, dude, some DC pants, that's sick. And I was like, you should really read. She was like, yeah, because my favorite character or whatever of all time is the Joker. And I was like, okay, well, that doesn't really make sense from the pants that you're wearing. But I was like, you should really read some of the Batman comics. They're really, really good, dude. Like, surprisingly good, you know? And if you read comics online, I think it's even more gratifying than actually going out and picking it up, because, unless that's what, like, your thing is, if you like to, like, leave the house and go pick up comics like that. But it's just so easily accessible, and you don't have to, like, bin the pages to see everything, you know what I mean? It's just all right there. It's almost like a movie. You can just scroll right through that stuff. I love that.
Do you know Max Landis?
I think so.
He was the
He's my boy.
screenwriter on Chronicle and
Yes.
like some other things. But he was on another podcast, and I totally do not agree with this guy on a bunch of shit. Like, he was talking about what the best DC animated movies are, and he's like, okay, so the number one DC animated movie is Mask of the Phantasm, easily. And I'm
I'm not a
What?
huge fan of Mask of the
when
Phantasm.
he said that, I was like, what? And then Kumail Nanjiani goes, "What about Under the Red Hood?" He's like, that kind of sucked.
What?
And I was like, instantly, I had the
You lost respect.
I was like, I was about to shut off this podcast. I was like refusing to listen. But he just has terrible taste.
Isn't he one of the guys who also wrote the new Fantastic Four?
No, his partner Josh Trank, who directed Chronicle.
Oh, those guys.
He
are
wrote
both...
Chronicle. Josh Trank directed it.
They're
and then
both
Josh
smoking
Trank
crack.
went on. No, I think just Josh Trank is smoking crack, and this guy, like, I don't know. He knows a lot about comic books. Like, he most definitely has read more comic books than me. But, like, so I don't agree with some of his opinions.
Mask of the Phantasm was, like, the thing that kind of set DC on this animated feature thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe that's why he said it, but the Phantasm is pretty much exclusively, like, a character that was made for that movie, which I don't like that. Like, I think that Batman has some of the best characters in like storytelling history, period.
Yeah.
So it's like when you think about Gotham too, they're like, it's like, why the fuck do you need to change these characters that are great? Like, we have gone on and on talking about how shitty Gotham is, but like last night I described it to this girl as well. I was like, yeah, you should watch Gotham just so you can cringe. That's what I told her. I mean, Catwoman, I was telling you, we had talked about Arrow briefly, and we will in a second, but I was like, they should have a Catwoman from Gotham in Arrow. And she'll be like, listen, kid, you'll never make it in Star City.
Yeah. No.
Why does she talk like that?
Ugh.
Listen, kid, you gotta get your chin up.
I hate her.
Like, who talks like that? Oh, and what was it that the Riddler said? Oh my god, dude, like...
I like Sean Pertwee as Alfred.
Yeah, he's like a Cockney Alfred.
Yeah, but he's still like, he's got a lot of traditional Alfred elements to him. You know, like
he's a fighter.
He's like been in the service, and he's like, you know.
I like that.
Yeah, I like a lot of aspects of that.
I think we're gonna
Alfred.
see that in who's playing Alfred in BVS?
Jeremy Irons.
I think we'll see a bit of that there too. But the Riddler is like, before he kills that guy, he's like, "Hey, Buster."
That's kind of funny, though. I don't know.
Would never. The Riddler would never say that. Like, I like the Riddler in Year Zero.
He's too goofy, this Riddler, and too much of like a little kid.
Hey, Buster.
Yeah,
like someone was like, "Who the fuck wrote this?"
And then he stabs him.
and he's like, "Ooh." Like, you know, for what it's worth, I kind of liked Jim Carrey as the Riddler. Like, he definitely had his moments, man.
It was like taken one notch too high, you know?
The suit, like the spandex suit was like, no thanks. Like, I like the Riddler in like the green suit.
Yeah, me too.
Like, why does he have to have like spandex with fucking question marks all over? Like, who the fuck? You know? And then he has like that cane, and he's like, in the hair, he looks like
you still
he looks like a lesbian.
You still haven't played Arkham Knight, and that Riddler is probably easily my favorite Riddler.
Yeah, I'm thinking about buying it. When I bought a GoPro recently, they gave me a $50 gift card to Best Buy, so I might just go pick it up.
Yeah,
it's worthwhile.
Yeah,
but I mean, if you rewatch, what was it, Batman and Robin? I think is the one, or I'm not sure if that's the one, but whichever one it is with Two-Face and Two-Face and the Riddler. I think that you'll notice, and Kevin Smith goes over this in Fat Man on Batman, his podcast, which I do recommend you guys check out.
Max Landis says he's petitioned Kevin Smith to get on that podcast many times.
On Fat Man on Batman?
Yeah.
Kevin Smith is like, "You're full of shit. You'll never come on my podcast."
No, I don't know. I think they're friends or something.
I've got to say, Kevin Smith, I don't agree with some of the stuff that, like, you know, he did this.
Me neither,
he was going to do the superhero or the Superman.
You gotta understand though, Kevin Smith is a lot older than us, so like his view on comic books is a lot different, you know.
His view is total.
The same with all those guys from the comic book show, the comic book TV show,
Comic Book Men.
Comic Book Men. Yeah.
I mean, hey, I don't disagree. I think I actually agree with a lot of what Kevin Smith said. Dude, this is hilarious. So,
Batman Forever is the one you're talking about.
Batman
the one
Forever.
with Val Kilmer as Batman.
Yeah. But if you watch, there's a great Fat Man on Batman episode, or a couple of episodes, where they go over Batman and Robin and Batman Forever. You can watch it and listen to, like, watch the movie with the volume down and listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
And they talk about it as it's happening. But at the very beginning of that movie in Batman Forever, you know, he, like, Batman is like flying through the city, and he busts in and has to save some shit, and Kevin Smith is like, "This is very Batman, like, this is very legit." And then somehow some things just totally like go off the hinges, you know, like shit goes awry. I mean, for what it's worth, the movies had their moments, but Joel Schumacher, like, what was he thinking? I mean,
I think he was high.
I think that was like the biggest thing is they were like, dude, these movies would have probably been good without Joel Schumacher directing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, George Clooney as Batman isn't even like really bad. It's like I think it's all just the direction and the writing was like really bad.
I think
the
Batman,
costumes,
the whole character of Batman was wrong in that movie. Like
George Clooney wouldn't make a like, dude. Seeing George Clooney as Bruce Wayne kind of makes sense.
It wasn't bad. The way he looked as Bruce Wayne, like normal Bruce Wayne,
Right? Yeah.
looked about right.
The bat suit with the nipples. No,
Dude, I even liked Chris O'Donnell as Robin because they did things right. Like it wasn't some fucking cop whose name is actually Robin. Like he was actually a flying Grayson, you know? Oh man.
No, it was more like Nightwing. Like he was more of a Nightwing. Like he looks like Jason Todd.
Yeah.
But
I feel like everyone's afraid to fully embrace some of the
dude, Kevin Smith talks about this, and he's like, okay, I kind of just wish that Robin was a kid, and he was just a really fucking badass kid that's like...
He's too old, is the
But they're
thing,
like,
yeah.
why the fuck is... And he's like saying, there's all these emotional moments where he's like, fuck you, Bruce, like, you know, I'm going away, Bruce, like, you know, and there's like all kind... I don't know, they were like, dude, this would have been so much more effective as like a father-son relationship if it was that kind of dynamic, but it's just weird because it's like they have like this weird gay relationship. It's like Bruce Wayne who's like 10 years older than Robin, and
then Batgirl comes and it's Alfred's daughter, and it's like,
and they do like these gratuitous shots of Alicia Silverstone's ass in the suit.
Yeah.
It's like she's like slapping
all
on the
the
leather.
Shots of them suiting up are so stupid.
Yeah, it's really really bad. And even when she's like, there's a moment where she goes. She like races bikes for some reason.
Yeah,
and
she steals Robin's bike and,
like,
and races it.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, this is going to be a great part or whatever. So there's like this racing scene, which is almost as bad as the racing scene from Star Wars.
Yeah,
where I mean, some of the shit that they say is really bad too. But he has to save her from like falling off. And
I think that scene with the real Barbara Gordon would have worked well in a comic, you know, like because I really like the setting of that race, like the dudes who have like clown hair and
all the chains and
all like
they're kind of like the guys
glow
from
in the dark paint,
Dark Knight Returns. They kind of look like the goons from that.
Kind of like the mutants,
Slice and Dice,
the mutants,
yeah,
a little bit, but no, they're just. Dude, like,
Kevin Smith was like, "What the fuck is with the neon paint everywhere?"
I like it, man.
You like the neon paint?
Not in the movie. Like for the sake of the, if it was
a comic, it would make sense.
It would look good in the comics.
Yeah, but I like, why the fuck did they not just? Why did they do it as Alfred's granddaughter?
Niece. And then, Alfred's niece.
Oh yeah, and then there's like she has to like watch the DVD and Alfred's like dying or some shit like that.
And she guesses the password. The password is PEG. PEG. It's like, are you fucking kidding me?
You don't think that Alfred would have taken more precaution?
Welcome, welcome to the Batcave.
But he's like just talking to her like right. They're like, oh, this is convenient. Oh, you know what? Oh, the worst part of that movie is when Chris O'Donnell is doing laundry and he's like kung fu fighting the laundry or whatever, and like he's like mopping the floor with kung fu and shit. People are like, what the fuck is going on right here?
Yeah. Oh man, let's stop talking about it.
Oh, that's amazing.
So we saw.
I would love to just do a watch through with that. Do something similar with like really bad movies.
The Arrow Cave in the new Arrow Cave for season 4. So here's a lot we know about Arrow season 4. Officially, Star City. We saw Detective Lance in his badge. It said Star City now.
Instead of Starling?
Yeah. Ollie is suiting up as Green Arrow. No longer just the Arrow or the Hood, you know.
Does he have a goatee?
I don't know yet.
Motherfucker.
I hope he does. He's going to be fighting Stardust this week.
This week?
Yeah, I think so. Him and someone else
WWE.
tag team against Stardust. Yeah. Go check that out, I guess.
Scott Snyder is like posting about this shit on Twitter, and he's like, I took taking my son to go see what the fuck is his name?
Amell?
Chris Amell.
Stephen Amell?
Yeah, I keep thinking of Chris O'Donnell. I don't know, like
they got Chris O'Donnell on the mind.
Kind of looks similar.
Like, Chris O'Donnell could be Stephen Amell's dad.
So similar haircut.
Yeah.
Like, imagine like Stephen Amell as like, where they're like, we're gonna remake Batman and Robin, but just leave everything as bad as it was. Stephen Amell's gonna be Robin.
Chris O'Donnell could have been okay, so the age he was for Batman and Robin, if he was 5 years younger, he could have been Speedy in a Green Arrow movie.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So the Arrow Cave looks badass.
It looks really good.
It looks really like...
We need this. They needed this upgrade.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially, look at all the villains who have fucking found where they are.
I think that there's a huge consensus of people that are like, we should stop having Green Arrow be so Batman. Like, let him do his own thing.
We need more trick arrows. We need more, we needed more of the funny side of Green Arrow, I think.
Well, there was like an homage to using one of the trick arrows before when he shot an arrow and it landed in like a boxing glove. Yeah. But it's like, that's not what we want. I want to see a fucking actual boxing glove arrow. Like, knock someone the fuck out. He's been
using a lot more trick arrows in the show, but he needs more.
It's too based in reality, though, almost. Arrow, it's like weird because Arrow is so based in reality, but the Flash isn't.
Yeah.
Which doesn't really make sense. So like, oh, what, you're gonna go to this city and then it's all magical, and like, oh, but you go. Well,
that's I think that's a good. Like,
we've only seen like one metahuman in Arrow.
It's good why they're crossing over, but we're probably gonna see more, and we know we're gonna see magic users in Arrow too, which is one thing Flash does not have.
We're gonna see Constantine.
Yeah.
John Constantine.
Which lends to other magical heroes and villains being able to show up.
Well, I think that they're going to do that based upon the response to Constantine.
Yeah.
But hopefully
they
Constantine
could do like a whole
for
Lords of Chaos and Lords of Order story.
Oh,
I would watch the shit out of that.
Fuck yeah. They should do a whole series based on that. Dr. Fate? Fuck yeah, man. I would watch that. Naboo?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I've taken over your mind. Who does he take over? Like Martian Manhunter?
No. Zatanna.
Oh, yeah, and he sacrifices himself. This was Zatara.
Zatara, yeah, he ends up becoming Dr. Fate, so
she's like, Dad, no!
Yeah, the first person he tries is Wally.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But Wally's not really magical, so he lets him go. And then he gets Aqualad, and Aqualad has a lot of magical power. And they convince him to let him go. And then he gets Zatanna, then finally Zatara. That's in
Aqualad has a different kind of magical power, though, too. You know, in Brightest Day...
It's still magic, though.
It's Atlantean magic.
Yeah. So
in Brightest Day, there's a great introduction for Aqualad. And it's like, I didn't realize how many of these characters are from the Southwest, but it's he's from Silver City in New Mexico. And he's like, Dad, like, he's living with his family or whatever. He can't go out in the rain because his gills start to come out. And they're like, son, get back inside, you know? Mm-hmm. Black Manta shows up and tries to kill his foster parents. Black Manta is fucking brutal in that story, man. He's one of my, I don't know why so many people knock on Aquaman because, like, I don't know.
It's because they don't know. And they see Aquaman as, the cartoon Aquaman, you know what I'm talking about?
Which ruined it. DC, screwed up so bad for a few years.
So when people hear Aquaman, that's what they think of. But then,
was Black Manta even in that?
Aquaman does badass shit, like summons krakens and, all sorts of crazy shit.
In Brightest Day, all of the creatures that he summons are dead.
What?
Because he was a zombie.
Oh, okay.
He was, one of the first Black Lanterns.
Yeah.
And he's resurrected by the White Lantern or whatever. So, there's all kinds of problems that are getting fixed in that storyline, which is really great. I mean, it's just an awesome arc. But whenever he voo 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 calls the fish or whatever, they're all decaying fish.
Yeah.
So Mira, it's revealed that Mira was actually sent to Atlantis to kill Arthur, because there's another group from somewhere else that was banished from Atlantis. They were the outcasts, so similar to people who were banished to Australia from the UK. If that makes sense, you know what I mean? But her sister comes back, and they're all water wielders, so similar to Aqualad, and that's how he got his power. They had corrupted him or something rather.
Yeah.
Black Manta had offered him up as the way to open up the city or whatever to get the
Black Manta, another awesome villain. I hope we get to see in a live action version.
But they've got to make him super brutal,
and it's got to be done the way he looks in most of the comics and most of the animated show.
Oh my god, please don't screw it up.
You
He's got to
can't-
have the huge helmet, man.
The helmet and the armor has to be right. If it isn't, you've now fucked the character.
I mean, they're making an Aquaman movie.
Yeah.
I swear, if they like try to like ground it in reality, and
all
like,
those aspects need to be there. We need Arthur. We need his brother. We need Mira. We need all the magical elements of Atlantis, and they can't chintz out on anything with that.
Well,
movie.
actually, he's got some speedo goggles that have light, and you can.
So, like, Aquaman, he discovered Atlantis, and they made him king, and
they accepted him immediately.
It's like Atlantis has an elevator to the surface. Like,
dude, Hollywood, come on, guys. Let's not screw this up. I'm like actually really stoked for Batman versus Superman. I hope that it's going to be
real
kick-ass.
quick, since you mentioned that, I accidentally glossed over this one topic. Michael Shannon tweeted, for those of you who don't know, he played Zod in Man of Steel, and I mean, spoiler alert, Zod died. Everyone knows this. But,
What?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I know.
Okay.
I haven't seen it, but I know.
And so
he has to die.
Michael Shannon was talking about being on set for Batman versus Superman. So people are like, wait, I thought Zod was dead and blah, blah, blah. And he mentioned that he was wearing flippers on his hands. So this has led people to believe that he is actually going to be playing Doomsday?
Dude,
Zod mutates into Doomsday.
I mean,
what they're saying.
It could be. I don't hate that, but I think that like if they do Doomsday, like they can't ground it in. Doomsday has to be humongous. He's the guy who like destroyed Superman. He killed Superman.
Yeah,
like he's got to be enormous. But and it can't be like. Don't Fantastic Four it and just introduce him in the last 20 minutes and be like, oh, but there's Doomsday now. Like, no, he needs to be like a serious fucking contender. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really don't know what to expect of this movie. So much is drawn from so much different subject matter that I don't know. I hope that it's going to be good. I think it will be because DC's trying really hard. But
I'm most excited for Batfleck. Like, I don't know. Everything I've seen looks really awesome, and it looks like the type of Batman that I like. Like,
I mean, yeah, I would be totally fine with watching like a 3-hour movie as long as everything is like fleshed out and the story is told the way that it should be told. Like if they Hollywood it up.
I mean, the problem is that won't sell to everyone else. They're not the box office is gonna be abysmal if it's a 3-hour movie.
I mean, yeah, I agree. It's a Batman movie, and people just want their fix. But
it doesn't need to be short, but it doesn't need to be 3 hours either.
I mean, why don't they just do like an extended cut that's 4 hours long? I'd watch it all.
I mean, either way, we don't know the full story, so it's really hard to say whether it should be longer or shorter at this point in time.
Yeah, as soon as I get in there, and if it's bad, I'm gonna be like, end it all.
So let's talk about this. Another person who's requesting a superhero role. Ronda Rousey she wants to play Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, I should say. All the people have been drawing her as Captain Marvel, and it looks good. Like, I'm totally for it, but I mean, her acting skills are really lacking. Like,
I mean, she could build on that though.
That's just being like, I see potential in her to be a good actress,
Dude.
but there's a lot of things that she does.
She could be an
that
Amazon.
are totally wrong.
She could be Wonder Girl.
Yeah, or
she's 28 though, but she's kind of
she's
got like
only
a cat.
28.
She's got kind of a Cassie thing going on.
Yeah, she could. But all the concept art I've seen of her as Miss Marvel looks good. So I'm like, okay.
What are Miss Marvel's powers?
She has like so she has flight, but she also has like transformative abilities, like
Shape-shifting?
She can shapeshift. Like she's almost like she's kind of like no, not Mr. Fantastic. I mean, I guess she is because she can be stretchy if she wants to, but she's like, or she could
She's
turn
just a total like fucking like mess of a character. They're just
She
like,
could-
yeah, she does all this stuff.
She could turn her arm like into a hammer, like shapeshift her arm into a hammer.
Bullshit.
Yeah, she's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's all right. I mean, I just feel like Marvel doesn't like a lot of their characters aren't that fleshed out. Some of them really are. Like Spider-Man is awesome. Most of the X-Men are like really well and like thought out, like really concise ideas. But there are some other ones that are just like kind of up in the air. It's like, oh yeah, also she does this.
Well, and then there's some characters who are really fleshed out in the comics, like Mockingbird, who aren't so fleshed out in their on-screen counterparts.
Has that always okay? So Mockingbird is going to be getting her own TV show, but who is Mockingbird?
So Mockingbird, she's a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, but I believe she's also powered in the comics. I think she has powers.
What S.H.I.E.L.D. agent is she?
She's Bobby Morse.
Bobby Morse, that's right. When does Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. come back?
All the shows, pretty much every TV show, will be back in October.
It's going to be too much to handle, man. This next season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is probably going to be fantastic.
It probably is, especially since they're doing a whole Secret Wars storyline.
Oh my god, wait, so, who plays Skye? What's her name again? The actress's name? You know every actress's name.
Yeah, but I don't know her name.
You don't know? How do you not know her name? You love Skye.
I do?
Yeah, I thought you did.
I mean, yeah, she's okay. I liked her when other people hated her, but I'm not like...
What do you mean when I hated her?
I'm not like, Skye is the best part of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
You know, she's grown on me. She's hot. But I saw this terrible song that she did. She was like a pop artist before she started acting. It was so bad.
Chloe Bennett is her name.
It was like... Dude, look up her music act. See what it was called. She had a ridiculous name. It was like...
What? I thought I muted this. Go away.
Frank Underwood is in the studio with us, guys.
Chloe Wang?
Yeah, it was Chloe Wang, dude. And there's like a single called like La 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 or something like that.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. It's really bad, dude. What is this?
It's a music video.
I can hear children. It sounds like we're at a pizza place.
Agent Inhuman Singer. That's what someone posted in the comments.
Ugh. God, this is like the longest
Someone's like, why isn't this classified?
Why isn't this classified? Oh, this is the song, guys. Oh, no.
It's a typical pop from 2004.
Oh, dude, and her, like, the auto-tuning is really bad. Oh.
God, this dance number is terrible, too.
The dancing was cringe part.
The dancing's, like, real slow. Like, they look, like, robotic.
Let me see it. Oh, this is really bad, dude. Yeah, you guys, it's called Uh-Oh by Chloe Wang. Oh, dude, no, this is... Dude, they're like going back and forth doing the teapot dance. I mean, what... Didn't she think at some point that Chloe Wang would in some way be, like, connected with dicks? You know?
So Mockingbird's first appearance in the comics was in June 1971.
All
so
right.
she's been around for a while.
What are her powers?
Team affiliations, S.H.I.E.L.D. Avengers, all the other Avengers, New Avengers, Secret Avengers, partnerships with Hawkeye.
Hardcore Avengers.
I know in the comics she had a relationship with Hawkeye before he met his wife.
Hawkeye?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. I wonder when...
She's a genius biologist, athlete, gymnast, unarmed combatant, spy, expert with the battle stave.
And does not have...
She gets enhanced strength and agility at one point in the comics.
Cool.
Yeah. So she's like Deathstroke, kind of, but for the good guys.
Yeah. I don't think that... Well, yeah, okay, right on.
I actually like Adrienne Palicki as Bobby Moore. She does a pretty good job.
Oh, she's awesome. Yeah, she's really good.
And Hunter's coming with her, too, I believe.
Hunter?
Her ex-boyfriend, husband.
Right.
Yeah, the other S.H.I.E.L.D. agent.
I thought you were talking about the, like, what's his name? The Hunter?
Rip Hunter?
No.
From
the
DC?
No, the Hunter from Spider-Man.
Which, okay.
What's his name? Craven the Hunter.
Yeah. A lot of people have said that he might be the villain in the next Spider-Man movie.
He's badass, dude.
Yeah.
Craven is the shit. But I want to see Mysterio.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm yes to all of that.
I was going to ask, like, back to DC for 1 second. So what do you think, like, do you think that Lila Michaels is ever going to get powers?
Does she in the comics?
Dude, she's, like, super OP.
Who is she in the comics?
Oh, my God. Oh, dude, I have to look it up. Okay, so, by the way, she's Diggle's wife.
On Arrow.
Yeah, bear with me. And she has the Harbinger.
Oh, yeah, Harbinger.
Yeah, she has self-duplication and reintegration, energy materialization, superhuman strength, flight, and possessed an orb that recorded every bit of history in the multiverse and beyond while allowing for teleportation through space, time, dimensions, and realities. She was a big deal.
I think it could happen. It's just, it's not going to happen next season.
Dude, her whole thing is like, so the Anti-Monitor she plays like a big part with the Anti-Monitor and the New Gods and Apocalypse and all of that shit. What if they like realize they're like, oh shit, like she just had her memory wiped or something, but she's kind of too old to be Harbinger. Like,
I guess I like her, man.
I mean, I don't know, dude.
It could be cool.
Look at how Harbinger's supposed to look.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I mean, again, she's not going to be young her entire life.
Well, I don't know. Does Darkseid ever age?
Yeah, but Darkseid doesn't look like a human.
Kinda.
No, he doesn't. He's got bluish gray skin, omega beams for eyes.
Why? Okay, why? But his son is Mr. Miracle, who's like a human.
No, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, his son
That's his biological son.
His son was the other guy, and they traded places. His son and the king of the New God's son traded places.
But wasn't his actual son was Mr. Miracle, and he got sent to the other guy? Or no, Mr. Miracle was the other dude's son that got sent to Apocalypse.
Orion was Darkseid's son, and he got sent to the New Gods. But he doesn't look like Darkseid, though.
He like cruises around on that glider,
the
or
bike. But
he's badass.
At one point, Orion turns bad, but he always ends up a good guy. He was in Justice League Unlimited.
But so was his other son, who looks like a beast. He looks like
Baraka from Street Fighter.
Yeah, for sure. He's like
not Baraka, Blanca.
Yeah, Blanca.
Baraka's from Mortal Kombat.
I always like Blanca, dude.
Yeah.
Blanca was hardcore. Street Fighter wasn't as cool as Mortal Kombat, though. Do you disagree with that?
No, I've always been a fan of both, really. Like, Street Fighter was pretty big in my household.
In your household?
Yeah.
But you and your fictional brother would play Street Fighter?
Your brother?
My brother?
So I watched the first 2 episodes of Blunt Talk, and it is fucking great.
I watched it, too. Did you see all the people hating on it, though?
I didn't see that, but
okay, so
they're wrong.
By the way, guys, Blunt Talk is the new TV show with Patrick Stewart. It basically follows the life of this TV show, news show, talk show host. Mm-hmm. What's his name? Something Blunt?
Walter Blunt.
Walter Blunt, and he's an older man who is just... he's ex-military. He and his manservant fucking live life on the next level, man.
They served in the Falklands War.
What did they say that the Falklands War didn't happen? This show is great, man.
It's
really
definitely...
good.
So, my top 3 comedies are easily Silicon Valley, this show, Blunt Talk, and... I don't know.
That's on air right now, currently?
Yeah.
Yeah, live action.
Sirens, I'd put Sirens up there.
Sirens isn't like nearly as funny as this shit, though.
I feel like what makes these shows good, though, is they're not like a laugh track. I don't like shows with laugh tracks anymore.
I agree, they're not funny.
Like, even though I may enjoy Big Bang Theory, just like sometimes the laugh tracks make the show unenjoyable. Because if the audience is laughing and you're like, well, that wasn't funny. Yeah,
you're like, that's not... you're like being forced to laugh.
Yeah.
Key and Peele is no longer on, is it? It's over.
But that's not really...
It's a sketch comedy show.
Yeah. I don't really... I'm talking scripted comedy.
I don't know. Yeah, I would say that these are the 2 shows to really watch these days. Like, yeah. Blunt... I hope that they renew it for a second season because this show has been getting a lot of negative, like... A lot of people have been like, why is this necessary? I prefer Patrick Stewart when he's doing, like, the more family-oriented roles. Like, Patrick Stewart does blow.
He's been Avery fucking Bullock on American Dad for the longest time. Avery Bullock does fucked up shit.
But it's a voice thing. So they're not
But the character looks like Patrick Stewart.
They're not paying attention to that, though.
Oh man, he makes Stan turn into a woman, and then he tries to fuck him.
It's animated though, so it's a different. Yeah, but a lot of people were like, "Why is this necessary?" I honestly think that it's a great move for Patrick Stewart. I think it's fucking hilarious. Like,
the doctor gave him the cocaine, and he's like, he really is a Freudian."
he was like, "What's his manservant's name?"
I can't remember.
He's like, "We have to call him back. Schedule another appointment."
Oh, dude, the literally the beginning of the first episode is like the best 5 minutes that I've seen of the show. Like when he meets Gisele.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, Gisele!
Gisele!
Oh, man. I highly recommend the show. I can't wait for the third episode.
He's like, Major, this is not the time to be quoting Hamlet. It's not. He's like, no, get off the car, Mr. Blunt. No, I don't want to.
He shattered the cop's testicles.
I'm going to pay him $500,000. In the 30s, they paid $250,000. So now it seems like with inflation, it's about right. That amount.
Yes.
Dude, I mean, the writing is good. There's enough to keep you coming back every week.
It's very low stakes, but they make it work.
Can we spoon? Would you like to spoon? He's like, can I please spoon with you, sir? She's like, oh, Candace has been with me for years. 20 years. Oh, man. Yeah, it's a good show. It's worth watching.
Yeah.
What else is going on in the world of TV?
That's it.
The Flash.
What about it?
The Flash is going to come back soon. There's been speculation about Wally.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to happen this next season, apparently. Like, for sure.
Yeah, we're going to get Wally and Jay Garrick and Hunter Zolomon. Yeah. 3 new speedsters in 1 season. That's kind of a lot.
Should be a blast, man.
I hope it comes out good.
I want to see, like, I just hope that they do some more solid characters. They expended a lot of the villains in the last season.
Well, and they also need to focus on, like, character development for, like Iris. I'm totally not invested in Iris' character.
Dude, what if they... Okay, so wait. If, like, half of this season is Barry and Iris, like, still, like...
Still having, like, awkward relationship?
She's like, oh, but I still like Eddie, and I just don't...
She's like, probably going to be getting over Eddie for most of the
That's going to be the worst part of this next, like, for sure.
Yeah, but apparently she's going to be doing other stuff, too. Like, Candace Patton, who plays her, was quoted as saying, like, she's going to be a lot stronger and more, like, kind of on her own this season.
Cool.
So hopefully that pans out.
Doing some real investigative reporting. I need you, Flash. Like, okay. She's such an ancillary character. They should have just had them hooking up from the beginning.
Yeah.
And then focused on Barry.
You know the CW, they love their love triangles and their love interests.
When are they going to understand that that's not like that whole aspect is like what's killing those shows?
Their shows don't need that anymore. They've transcended that.
I mean, it's good if it's as long as it's not a story arc.
Yeah.
Like I think if like have
like a whole episode of it.
Like, I think Game of Thrones does it like really well. It's just sex.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously they can't do it like Game of Thrones. HBO is a little more lenient than CBS.
What if HBO just started doing the DC shows and they were just fucking all over the place?
And they own Showtime too.
Who?
CBS, Showtime, and the CW are all owned by the same people.
Really?
Yeah. So they had like a red carpet type thing the other night, and there was like Claire Danes, and then like
oh shit,
Misha Collins or Misha, yeah, what's his name, Jared Padalecki,
Carrie,
and then like people from the CBS shows,
from Person of Interest and shit,
like Person of Interest and Elementary. God, that show's so bad.
I can't believe I didn't know that. What if we saw like a DC thing on fucking Showtime?
That would be really cool too, because
know
then. Like, if they took one of the seriously gritty characters, like...
The Question.
Dude, it could be a procedural where it's all about the Question, like, hunting down mysteries and like, solving conspiracies and shit.
that could be super badass. Or, I mean, what would really work is... I prefer Vic Sage as the Question, but Renee Montoya...
I'd be fine with either, yeah.
Renee Montoya as the Question would be fucking badass, because then it would be more of a procedural cop kind of thing. But,
well, it could be that with Vic Sage, too.
Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, but he's part of the Trinity, like...
Yeah, but not, like, that's not set in stone. It's not always that way.
Yeah, I suppose so. We also didn't... We haven't talked about this yet, but the preview for Vixen showed up.
Oh, yeah.
I think that her hair looks dorky as fuck.
That's all you said to me about it.
That's all that I really got from it. The animation is kind of weird.
It's I like it. It's very much Son of Batman and Batman versus Robin.
But why is her hair like that? She has fucking Ra's al Ghul hair.
It's got a lot of Japanese elements, but I think
very manga.
Yeah, which I'm okay with. Like, it looks good
as long as the voice acting's good.
I mean, when I looked at it, I wasn't like, "Oh, her hair is wrong."
Well, that's what one other thing that I had to say about it is I didn't know about the way that they did her animals were just shadows. Right?
That's how it's always been.
Nah. She can like do light constructs of her animals too.
Well, they look like the way it was in Justice League Unlimited. Is that what you're saying? In Justice League?
I'm talking about just in the comics.
In the comics, yeah, but they're
like golden. I kind of
they've
like
been
that.
golden, they've been purple, and they've been like shadowy. They've been all three.
Maybe it'll change then.
Yeah.
I don't know. But wait, so we did see the Flash and Arrow in this show too.
I'm kind of worried about them.
Yeah.
Like, none of these guys have voice acting experience besides Stephen Amell.
Stephen Amell has voice acting experience?
He's done Green Arrow for all the Lego Batman stuff.
Really?
Yeah, and a bunch of other stuff too.
So Grant Gustin just doesn't have like...
Yeah, and
he's kind of a new actor to
and
begin
the guy
with.
who plays Cisco, and like, I'm kind of worried that their voice acting is going to be bad.
I think that it's going to be cool to see like Green Arrow animated regularly,
Yeah.
and the Flash. And
He looks solid.
The Flash looks really good too, and hopefully
Yeah.
they open up this opens up something, because I would like to see more animated shows on the CW that it's like, you know, more.
And that's going to be available, the first episode tomorrow, right?
Really?
Tuesday tomorrow, if you're listening to the podcast.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm stoked on that, man. My
And
body's ready.
tonight, actually, the first episode of Fear the Walking Dead comes out too. So we'll talk about that next week, hopefully.
Walking Dad.
No.
Yeah. So and Supernatural comes back in October.
Everything comes back in October,
I don't know.
except for Doctor Who.
And that's
like in 2
September,
weeks.
Yeah, that should be good. But then we have more Clara Oswald, which is like totally a tired thing as well.
I'm more excited for some of the villains look really interesting this season.
whole season looks dark as shit.
Yeah,
it looks
good.
It looks really dark, and I think, dude, honestly, like I hated on Capaldi a lot when we first started talking about it, but I think that Capaldi is actually a really good doctor.
I like him as the Doctor.
He's grown into it. It was
what-
more like an Eccleston.
What I
type of
didn't
season.
like about this past season was the writing, not the acting.
I mean, the whole Mr. Pink thing was kind of like,
Well, and
I don't know.
It's like,
the way that they killed him was good, but then it was like the Cybermen. Dude, every time I see the Cybermen, I'm like, God, again? You guys overuse the Cybermen like to death. I'd rather see more Dalek than Cybermen. They have more personality.
well, yeah. I feel like there was only maybe 3 or 4 good episodes last season, and the rest were kind of like not.
Dude,
not good
okay,
at all.
what was the Master's name? Misty or something like
Missy.
that? Missy. That was like wasted. That was totally wasted. It was not even a threat. It was like she was a threat for like a little bit.
Well, I kind of understood that, but yes, I agree with you. It was not handled well, because the whole thing with Missy right now is she's like, she wants to find Gallifrey.
She's dead.
The Doctor, no, she's not dead. She was on the panel for this upcoming season.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought she got evaporated or
She's
eviscerated.
alive. She's alive.
Dude,
But now she's like looking for the Master is always like. Don't you remember when Tennant was the Doctor and the Master was like trying to bring the Time Lords back?
Yeah,
and
that was awesome.
Yeah,
and then the Time Lords
Timothy
wanted
Dalton.
to kill him.
Timothy Dalton is the president of the Time Lords.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah,
the Time Lords were not good people though.
No, they weren't.
They were like a total domineering
and
race.
It was like Timothy Dalton was the worst of them all.
Oh yeah, Timothy Dalton is the shit, man.
Yeah.
In Rick and Morty, that one creature named Fart wants to he's like, I'm going back to my people. I'm going to destroy all of humanity and all life because, so it was kind of like a similar thing. Did you notice? I don't know if you watched Rick and Morty, but the very beginning is very similar to the Doctor Who thing.
Kind of.
The music is similar too.
Yeah.
Oh jeez, Morty. Yeah, that's some good stuff, dude.
Yep. Well, that's our show.
Thanks
for listening.
We love you.
If you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to leave us a review on iTunes. It would be most appreciated. We'll read it out next time. If you want to tweet us at Macro Records. Use the hashtag #TheMacroCast so we know you're tweeting about the show. And Downlow'd is going to plug some shit.
I'm going to plug it in like a Glade plugin, baby. My name is Downlow'd. That's DOWNLOW''D. And I lied to you guys. Well, it wasn't a lie. I was just misinformed. I was you failed this city. I was under the impression that I would be in DJ Mag this month, but I'm actually going to be in DJ Mag next month for September.
Cool.
So if you guys went out and bought a copy of DJ Mag and spent the $5, I'm sorry. Let me know who you are, and I'll mail you some stickers. And if you want, go ahead and pick up the DJ Mag next month. It'll be out soon. It's the one with Thomas Gold on the cover. You can find more information about me at facebook.com/officialdownload. And remember, that's DOWNLOWD. SoundCloud.com/download. Tweet me at Downlow'd here. I'm all about the tweets. And if you can, go ahead and drop me a vote in the DJ Mag Top 100 DJs. I would really appreciate it. Include me in your top 5 DJs. That means that you can include anyone else that you want. Sean Wasabi, Diplo, Skrillex, Jack U. That means Skrillex would get twice. And Diplo would get twice. Alessa, whoever you want. Just as long as I'm in the top 5, I would really appreciate it. It would mean a lot to me and to the record label. And be expecting a lot of good new music from us soon. If you're an artist that's making music, submit a demo to us, macrorecords@gmail.com. We look forward to hearing your stuff.
Now enjoy Crystal Vision's remix of LSD.
A nice